Hi, my name is Gabriella Zalar, and I am one in 300,000 people in America to have scleroderma. I don't have full-blown scleroderma, but I definitely do have like all the discoloration and the arthritis to go with it. I'm one of the lucky ones, trust me. So if you don't know what scleroderma is, it's an autoimmune / skin disease that makes your body produce an excess amount of collagen, among other things, but collagen is pretty much the main issue. When I was 12, I was in judo classes, and I came home one day, and my mom looked at me and said, "Is someone beating you? Are you getting beat up at judo classes?" And like I told her no, like I wasn't getting beat up or anything. It was, I didn't know what it was. I just had dark bruises all over my skin. And she didn't believe me. She thought I was lying to her to try to cover someone's butt, and like that I didn't want to be a rat or anything and rat on someone. But I ended up going to Florida to see my dad because my parents are divorced and he lives in Florida. And when I went out there, I told him about what happened, and he took me to my old childhood doctor that I used to have in Florida when I lived there. And she thought that all the discoloration was a fungus. So she had me put Selsun Blue, which is a shampoo, all over my inner legs up to my abdomen, because it wasn't like on my neck or back yet at that time. But I put it on my legs for a couple weeks, and until I started to bleed and scab, like in my popliteal area, like your under knee area. And I stopped using the Selsun Blue after that, of course, but at that point we didn't know what it was. It didn't help. It just made it worse. It just scarred me up. Now I have scars on the back of my legs from it. So I come back to New Mexico from Florida, and my mom is like, "Well, we need to get you to another doctor here. Get a second opinion. We know for sure you're not getting beaten now. I believe you." So I go to the dermatologist, and they said it was either one of two things: scleroderma or granuloma annulare, which I actually do know someone who has that, but it's definitely just a skin condition. It would have been nice if I had that. But I got a biopsy on my right calf, and I got 7 stitches on the outside and 2 on the inside. But after that, they knew for sure it was scleroderma. And I didn't really know what to think at that time. I focused on death, pretty much. All I knew was that this disease could progress and kill me, and I don't know, I was in a bad state at that point as well, because when I was in middle school, a friend tried to kill himself and all kinds of bad stuff happened. So I really wasn't in a good frame of mind during all of this. But so I just became really self-destructive, and I mean, I did a lot of research on scleroderma, and me having it as a kid makes me less susceptible to getting systemic sclerosis, which is great. So I got taken out of judo, and I just started becoming self-destructive, and at age 14, I started smoking cigarettes, which is probably the worst thing you could do, having scleroderma, especially with the leading cause of death being in the lungs. I mean, but I did it anyway, and I did it for 5 years, and I got to a point where I didn't really care. And after I turned 14, I started doing other drugs, and I mean, I didn't do like really, really hardcore drugs, but I did some hardcore drugs. Like, I started getting drunk all the time. Like, every other weekend, pretty much, I would do acid or get drunk. You know, and I mean, I did a lot of shrooms too, but I did a lot of acid, and I drank a lot to the point where I thought I was gonna die a couple times, and, you know, I was just damaging my body because, I mean, I was a chubby kid all my life. I wasn't fat, but I was always chubby, and I already had a lot of confidence issues, and then getting scarring going from my inner ankle all the way up through my abdomen and on my back, and now I have some like on my neck. But, you know, it just made me feel even more self-conscious than I was before, which wasn't good. And I was learning about scleroderma slowly, and like, I felt guilty though whenever I would research it, so I would try to not think about it pretty much. And whenever I was given like the steroids, the topical steroids, I did it like a little bit, but like, I still don't want to take steroids. Like, I'm gonna try to fight this disease with my diet and try to correct it instead of just putting topical ointments on every day, twice a day. I took a class in high school. It's called Disease Detectives. It's no longer in existence, but now the creator of that class has gone on to make his own school called Explore Academy. And I mean, since I brought up the school, his name is Justin Bayardo, and he is like an amazing man, and he helped like kickstart me being healthy, me trying to live longer and prolong my existence here on the earth. And without him, I probably wouldn't be here making videos for you guys today. So thank you for that if you're watching this. But, you know, I was limiting my calories, which he also teaches, and maybe in the future I'll talk to him about high carb, low fat vegan. But, you know, it jump-started everything. So I was still integrating smoothies into my everyday life and, like, beginning to get healthier. Oh, I already forgot a story, but I'll backtrack in a minute. But, you know, I started trying to become more healthy, and it wasn't going as quickly as I wanted it to. Like, I was losing weight and stuff, but it wasn't like healthy weight. Like, I was restricting my calories, and I also got braces, so like that kind of helped me restrict my calories because I just couldn't eat. I'll probably cover that in another video in the future, all of that good stuff. But which is worse than what I'm going through with scleroderma right now, to be honest. But I wanted to make this video first just to kind of get the word out about my disease, and that more people should know what this disease is. I mean, 300,000 people in America isn't a lot, but it is a lot of people. 300,000 is a pretty big number. And I felt so alone in this whole ordeal, and if I mean, I had forums and stuff, but I didn't really know how to talk to people about what was going on with me, so I kind of just bottled everything up, and that's never good. And I'm sure a lot of other people with scleroderma have felt the same exact way that I have. And but anyway, I'm gonna backtrack to that story that I forgot to tell you guys. So the most pain I've ever been in arthritic-wise, like not TMJ-wise, like I said, I'll get to that in another video, but with my hands-wise, that was the most pain I've ever been in, was when I got my scuba diver certification. And I got it at this place called Blue Hole in New Mexico, and if you don't know about it, it's an 80-foot like hole in the ground that's 64 degrees year round, and I was wearing a 7mm wetsuit, which is about this thick, and I was still freezing. Like, I was offered a cap to go on top of my head, and I should have taken it, but I didn't. But because I didn't take it, I had to keep my hand on top of my head the entire time just to retain the warmth, the little bit of warmth I had left. And I had to do this for 2 days straight. And by the end of the 2 days, it felt like that my hands were made out of wood that would splinter every single time I moved my hand. And it was, well, hands, but... And looking back now, that probably caused me some damage, because that was, I literally couldn't move my hands almost. And it's not just because, like, I don't have any, like, skin thickening on my fingers or anything. Like, I've lost a lot of mobility in my hands just because of my joints, but I don't have any thickening or tightening skin on my hands. I'm really lucky for that, and I hope that never has to happen. The only symptoms I really have is the discoloration, and it's on both sides of my body, by the way. So it's like it grows on one side, so it has to grow on the other, and like it'll start on one side, like my neck. It wasn't there. The discoloration on my neck wasn't there when I was 14 or 12. It just wasn't there. So it started all over on this side, and now it's trying to go to this side. But so it's on a lot of my body, which worries me. But I mean, I am younger having it, so I don't think it'll take as big of a toll as a lot of other people have to go through. But and I'm saying these things because I haven't got my blood tested in 3 years, so I really don't know. I'm just kind of listing my symptoms, and also I have like dry mouth all the time. I also have difficulty lubricating myself during sex, and I'm only 19, so this might not have a correlation of any sort, but I haven't orgasmed yet, and I'm not very sensitive. Like, I feel like I should be more sensitive to feelings during sex, and it's kind of hard. Yeah. So let me recap really quick. So I got scleroderma when I was 12, kind of went crazy a little bit, did a whole bunch of drugs, and I still don't really know what type of scleroderma I have. And I will be getting tested in April of 2016. So I am really excited, but it really infuriates me. I scheduled this appointment like at least a couple months ago, like a month or two ago, and they couldn't get me in until like late April, so I gotta wait until April to get in with a new adult like rheumatologist. But I just want to start talking about what makes me positive and what keeps all of the self-destructive thoughts away, pretty much, and that's health, like looking forward to the future. I have an amazing boyfriend who was with me all the way, even when I smoked cigarettes. So I met him before I was vegan and before I quit smoking cigarettes. So and he didn't smoke cigarettes. So when I would smoke around him, he wouldn't really like be horrible about it. Like, he didn't like it, and I knew that, but he was really supportive. Like, he told me he knew I could do it. It just really encouraged me to quit. And but without him, I wouldn't become vegan either, and he's not vegan, so like, haha, joke's on you, Mo. He really helped me overcome a lot of things and just gave me strength. Like, he pushed me, and I'm very thankful for him for that, to him for that. Sorry, I'm all jumbled up with words now. But I became vegan and I started looking into high carb, low fat diets, and like the Star Solution and like 80-10-10 and Raw Till 4. Those are all very amazing diet plans. I kind of don't really do any of them. I try to eat as raw as possible, but I'll get, like I said twice now, this is the third time, but I'll do a video on this later on, but I have really, really severe TMJ, so I can't eat normal food, and I'm gonna do not recipes, but, well, maybe some recipes like I did the other ones, but I'll help people who might have issues with chewing, and like people with scleroderma too. I don't think I have anything going on with my mouth, like in thickening skin or anything. It's just like neck and below. But I have really, really bad TMJ from horrible orthodontics, and I can't eat celery, I can't eat like raw carrots, I can't eat apples. I mean, I might be able to if they're really, really chopped up, but I like just do juices and smoothies of a lot of things, and then I try to keep everything else as starchy as possible, so I'm not, it's like getting really, really cold out here. Hold on, I'm gonna go get a sweater. I'll be right back. People with scleroderma need to do some research on trans fat, saturated fat, and excess protein. And those three things is what fuels our collagen production. With like 80-10-10, Raw Till 4, like any like high carb vegan diet, high carb low fat vegan diet, you are going to get less saturated fat, and I've eliminated my trans fat entirely, but I'm still working on saturated fat. Like in my recipes, I use a lot of saturated fat and like vegan like meat products, which I probably should do very often. But in the future, like my New Year's resolution is gonna be to only eat stuff like that twice a week. And like I'm gonna get a new gym membership, so it's gonna be fun, and the next videos that I'm gonna be making in the next few years will log my progress and my blood work, and it'll be really, really detailed, I'm hoping, you know, if I keep up with it. So but like, if you eat primarily fruit and starches, you're not gonna have an excess of protein, saturated fat, and trans fat. If you stay low carb or low fat and high carb, you're gonna win the scleroderma fight. So that's all I really wanted to say for now, and I'll probably go into why I'm vegan and talk about this even more probably. But I hope you guys all have a great day. I'm gonna get out of this cold, and I'll see you later.